Christian single women at the church, literally single for years, not getting married, not getting any type of dates, not getting any type of attention. While they are serving at church, they're doing all the right things on paper. They might be in great physical.
Mind you, also going through the pandemic of our new age spirituality, so it's even less than I already talked about. And especially with my generation, I feel like we are more enlightened. We're not gonna fall for the crown's propaganda and things that they push to the world just to never mind about that. But the point is, it's even like a low number when you think of like the revolution and the way people approach their relationship with God and everything. So everything is changing, everything is taking a new form. And I feel like the church actually, in all my time there, whatever it was, I don't think I ever experienced that type of sermon in any kind of way. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They're more focused on not going to hell. That's what they know. They're focused on.
Shape. They might have their healing journey all, through
And
they're doing
money.
the inner work, they're doing all that. They
Yeah.
are focused. They are focused on Christ. They've been focused on Christ for years. They have been doing the things that people have been telling them to do for years, yet they're still single, have no candidates, have nobody looking in their direction. Let me tell you something. The church does not teach Christian women how to date. The church does not teach Christian women to date at all. What they tell us to do is
Because why would you want to do that in the first place, though? Why would you want to do that in the first place? That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is finding the right partner that you're gonna be with for life. You understand? So they don't need to teach you that because it's irrelevant. But that's the point. And then the other thing is me going back to that other point I made of like, yeah, and then we still have to then go back and reevaluate our position in the world and be like, okay, fine, is this the right way to approach today's world? And it is not, because everyone is looking to go through what they call a token phase. Phase, you get me, and you go through that phase where you all are just yapping to each other, and that's also good, you know. And that's what she's talking about. They don't teach you about those other stuff. And I feel like, yeah, as that type of woman, you need to go outside. You need to be outside. It could be like to a restaurant. It could be like spend more time at the park, and travel, and to the mall. The mall is like a good place to bump into something.
Sit with our hands in our laps
Could
and
be-
wait for a
could be
man to
that.
come at our door. That is not biblically wise. Faith without works is dead, and that applies to every area of our life. If you have a job and you lose that job, are you just going to sit and pray for God to send you a new job and then just stay at home
Exactly what I said.
and not apply for a single job? No. If you lose your job, you're going to pray, Lord, please bless me with another job. Of course, there's the faith. But then after that, you're going to go searching for a job. You're going to be applying for jobs.
Yeah.
And you're going to pray that God will bless you with the right job. If all you're doing is sitting at home doing 1,000 prayers for your future spouse, you are fasting, you are praying, you're doing all these other things, but you're not actually putting any practical works into dating,
Yeah.
more times than not, you are not going to find your spouse.
Those
Yeah.
are the only dating talking points that they have for these women. They just tell these women to simply pray about a husband, wait for your husband to come. Oh, God is preparing
I
you
think the problem here is that they're not looking for just anybody, and then that's the mentality behind it that makes it even difficult for them to find someone, because they're not just looking for like anybody. And also it's like the stigma the world have towards women like that, so there's also that.
for your husband. It's not your time yet, but soon will be your time. And this is the kind of stuff that they're telling them. Check this out.
Has it not occurred to you that maybe your no's and rejection are because God is trying to direct you to the person He has for you?
So you should sit and not do shit about it. That is the propaganda I'm talking about. And I feel like discernment is needed in this type of situations. And again, you then need to like evaluate who's saying what, and you then evaluate whether their standing is proper for them to be saying something like that. and then you're then going to be like, okay, maybe I can take this from you because I think you understand truly about what you're saying. But the truth is, reading something doesn't mean you understand it. There's a lot of people. I can give you a book about quantum physics, for example. Doesn't really mean that you holding a book of like quantum physics, you're going to understand what that book is about. Even if it's something mediocre like history, history needs to be studied, and that because the victor is the one who talks about what happened, isn't it? People believe who won more than the person who lost. They'll be like, oh, you're trying to rewrite history and shit. And then even so, in cases of like things that happened before we even here, the people who are alive, we don't know who is right or wrong. So even if we're talking about history, then we have to talk about like shit. It needs to be studied too. So when it comes to cases like this, a lot of the people who hold that book, they don't even try to get some discernment or understand what they're really talking about, and they just that's what it's saying, that's how it is. And most of the times what it's saying, it is not what it is. You need discernment to actually understand what's going on. So yeah.
Have you thought that maybe you're not in a relationship because you're not ready for one? Maybe it's taking long.
That's another thing. It's like you see what I mean? That's the problem is sometimes good luck is not the right word to say to certain situations. And I feel like this is also like those type of things where this is not the right thing to say in this situation. Because if I say I am ready to go bath, people like, sometimes, if you don't feel like it, it's like that's even I like the fact that I said it like that, because like I said, if I say I'm ready and then you be like, if you don't feel like it, like, what are you even talking about? Because I just said I'm ready for it. And again, everyone talks out of their own experiences, and you don't know what type of trauma that she's holding on to, that she is trying to like teach and shit. And I feel like this is also okay. I'm yapping way too much. We're gonna talk about it once we pass through this video and shit.
Because God is dealing with you and working out some things inside of you.
Not to say that that's not true, though. That is true.
Doesn't want you to carry into your marriage. God is saying, slow down, be still, and listen to my voice. Singles, your status does not mean you are not whole or incomplete.
That's what it literally means. And then in the definition of being whole or complete is that every single thing, it's what you can call a partner. Not necessarily saying that. I think, again, misinterpretation. It might be referring to the fact that it doesn't mean that you're less of a person because you don't have a partner around you. No, that's not what that means. But then again, wait.
When you seek the Lord, you are whole and complete.
But the truth, I don't know what he's about to say, but yeah, like I feel like I don't know what she's dealing with, but the way she said it is like, oh no, you don't need none of that, And the idea here is, I think the reason people go to those type of conferences is centered around women empowerment. Because of that, she's going to pick up like a verse that's gonna definitely validate the point of women empowerment. And that's why she said it in a way where it's like, oh, you don't need that because it is to empower women. Not even paying attention on the damages that statement is making, because
is you don't talk to anybody, you don't talk to men just because you're single, and they sold you this lie of, oh, it would just come, you need to stop worrying about that, just serve the Lord, and if you get busy and you pretend like you don't want marriage, then it's gonna come. We don't give this advice for anything else. If someone wants a higher paying job, no one says to be idle. They say keep applying, position yourself in the job market.
And again, I feel like it's about the morality of it. If, like I said, if you keep approaching, then they're going to label you a whole. So you now have to hold yourself in a position where you'll be looked at not looked at as a immoral person per se. You get me? So yeah.
Till it happens. Even if you get rejected by one company, does that mean
And
that
that's
you
why I said like this idea of life don't work in today's world, and then again it's like don't follow the world and you might find the right person, but yeah, yeah. So complicated things.
The church is contributing to women's singleness, and this is something that I'm very passionate about, so I'm going to share some things with you. When I say the church, I mean the body of Christ and the building. This does not mean the entirety of all church people, all church folks, all Christians. There's a small percentage of believers in churches that actually contribute to helping women learn how to date, to actually pushing people together for kingdom marriages, and etc. When I say this, I'm not addressing those people whatsoever, because they're actually doing what they should be doing to help kingdom marriages come together. But for the other large percentage, we are being told as women to just wait and sit and serve, and wait and sit and serve. The reason I'm upset about it is because there are women that are doing exactly that, waiting, sitting, and serving for years. Some 10 years, some 12 years, some even longer than that. But because all they've been taught is to wait and sit and serve and to never actually try to do anything on the dating market, they're watching people pass them by, getting married left and right.
That's what I'm saying, that majority of it, it is a bit clowny. It is a bit clowny, and you need your own discernment, and that's why it's always this. It's always this. Your inner voice, it will always be supreme to all things, not to like the creed or anything, but to a lot of things. Your inner voice will always be supreme to a lot of things, and your own personal development and taking control of your own life, not allowing people to tell you what to do, and understanding your situation and your own purpose and where you're going, instead of allowing a single direct thing that's always going to point you in the same direction. It's like it's programming, because it might then not, what I'm saying is, it might not then, um you might not relate to it, and it might not be effective in your own experience that you're going through. Everyone is having their own experience, remember? So you then need to think of it like that, and take control of your life and your own personal relationship with the creator, and then let that be the guiding light, the true guiding light, not things that were said 5,000 years ago, and then you be like, that is the absolute truth of it, when it was set for a specific period of time, and we live in a different time now. And I'm not saying that change your whole relationship with the creator. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that understand where you are, so you can move the way you're supposed to move, without selling your own inner self. You move with integrity, as long as you still hold those Christian values, but there's ways you can still hold those values and still find something out there. You get me? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But nonetheless, though, tell me what you think about this. If there's another topic we need to get into, we can then, get into it.